Be going over the study guide for our next chapter test. Let's get started. Mason's age is 7 years less than his cousin's age. Which equation represents the relationship between Mason's age, M, and his cousin's age, C? Mason's age is means equals. M equals 7 minus C. Because we have a less than here, we have to switch it around to make it C minus 7. C. Boat travels at a rate of 25 miles m per hour h. Which equation represents this situation? 25 m per hour h. Harry rides his bike at an average rate of 15 miles per hour. Write an equation that shows the relationship between the distance d that Harry rides the bike and the number of hours h that he rides. Per hour again, so we'll have 15h is equal to our distance. Ella's birthday party costs $75 plus $3 for every guest she invites. Write an equation that shows the relationship between the number of guests, G, and the total cost. Should be total cost. C. So the equation is going to be our total cost, C, is equal to 75 plus 3 for every guest, So our cost is equal to 75 plus $3 for every guest she invites. Graph the solution to each inequality on the number line. We have a greater than symbol, and we have a minus 2. Greater than means we have an open circle because it's not included in the answer. Ask yourself, what are possible solutions to x is greater than minus 2? Minus 1 is a possible solution. 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. Number 6. Minus 2x is less than or equal to 10. I'll begin by dividing both sides by minus 2. X is less than or equal to minus 5. But remember that when we have a negative in our coefficient, we have to flip the inequality sign. So that makes it x is greater than or equal to minus 5. Now we're asked to graph our inequality statement on our number line. Our number we have here is minus 5. So we put a circle on minus 5. Since it's greater than or equal to, we have to fill in our circle. Now ask yourself, what are solutions that make this inequality true? Is minus 4 greater than or equal to minus 5? Yes. Minus 3, 2, minus 1, and so on and so forth. Number 7. The table shows the relationship between the pounds of dough prepared, P, and the number of hours worked, H. Write an equation that represents this relationship. We need to start off by using our formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now I have to identify which are which. So this is my y2, this is my y1, this is my x2, and this is my x1. Now I'll plug my numbers into my formula to get 30 minus 27 over 10 minus 9. 30 minus 27 is 3, and 10 minus 9 is 1. So then my rate of change for this table is equal to 3. Next, I have to use the formula y equals mx plus b, where 3 represents my m, or my rate of change. So y equals 3 plus b. Now I'll pick two numbers, an x and a y, to fill in for my equation here. X is 9, therefore y is 27. Now I have to isolate my b. 27 is equal to 27 plus b. Since I'm adding here, I'll subtract 27 from both sides. The 27s on the right cancel out, and the 27s on the left also cancel out, but we're going to write a 0. So b equals 0. Lastly, we'll take all of our information, our m here, and our b, and we'll create an equation. Y is equal to 3x plus 0. Since we don't want to add the zeros, we'll just simply say y equals 3x. So my equation for this table is y equals 3x. Which scenario does the graph represent? Is it Miranda earning $30 per hour? Is it the temperature increasing by 20 per hour? Is it Amy ran a mile every 15 minutes? Or is it Rob folds 10 napkins every 10 minutes, every minute? To determine what the rate of change is for this table, this is what we're trying to find here, we have to use our formula, rise over run. We'll start off by rising up 10, 20, and then running 1. Since we have rise over run here, rise over run, we can say that we have 20 over 1. So the only valid answer then is 20 over 1, or the temperature increases by 20 per hour. So it's B. Miriam is buying some food at a farmer's market. She buys $10 worth of potatoes and some apples. The apples cost $2 per pound. Use the equation t equals 10 plus 2a to represent what she buys at the farmer's market. What is the independent variable? If you remember, an independent variable is the cause, and the dependent variable is the effect. So in this scenario, apples is going to be our independent variable. What variable represents the independent variable? So we're looking for a letter here. If we're talking about apples for our independent variable, then we have to be talking about apples here. Or, in this case, the letter A. Since apples is our independent variable, that's our cause, then what is the effect? The total cost, or the amount of apples she purchases. So we have our total cost here for our dependent variable, because the total cost depends on how many apples she purchases. What variable represents the dependent variable? Well, we said our total cost is dependent upon how many apples she buys, so the letter T represents that. It takes Ryan 6.5 minutes to run 1 mile. Fill in the following table to show the number of minutes Ryan runs for 3 to 6 miles. Recreate and fill in the table. What is the equation? Rate of change and y-intercept. So we have here miles 3 through 6. So we could fill in then 3, 5, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It might help us to create an equation here. So we have for our equation then, y equals, our rate of change is 6 and 5/10 x. Now, something to think about is when Ryan is running and he's at 0 miles, what is his pace going to be? Well, he hasn't started yet, so therefore we have no y-intercept or no starting point. So let's begin to fill in. Our chart here. So when x is 3, what is y? Y is 19 and 5/10. When x is 4, what is y? Y is 26. When x is 5, what is y? Y is 32 and 5/10. When x is 6, what is y? Y is 39. So what is our rate of change? 6 and 5/10. What is our y-intercept? 0. Number 11. Write an inequality for each situation and graph it on a number line. No more than 8 people can fit in the elevator. No more than means less than or equal to 8. So 11, the number line would look like the following. So we have here 8 filled in because it's less than or equal to, and all numbers going in this direction are true solutions. Number 12, I need at least 60% to pass the test. At least means greater than or equal to 60%. So we have here 60 and all numbers, and it's a closed circle, greater than 60, greater than or equal to 60. Water level is above 45 inches. So x is greater than 45. So all numbers greater than 45. What is the slope for the following equation, y-intercept, and what does the equation look like? The slope, if you remember, is undefined because it's a vertical line. There is no y-intercept because it's not going through the y-intercept. We also can't calculate the slope. So our equation is x equals minus 3. (15) What's the slope, y-intercept, and equation for the following line? Our y-intercept is minus 1, and our slope is 0. So our equation is y equals minus 1. Daniel pays the entrance fee to a museum, then buys souvenirs at a gift shop. The graph shows the relationship the table shows the relationship between the amount he spends at the museum and the amount at the gift shop. Write an equation to represent the following situation. If you look at the graph, you can see that it's increasing by 5 each time. 10, 15, 20, 15, 20, 25. We're asked to create an equation for the following. Remember that when x equals 0, that will be your y-intercept. So we look at our equation, y equals 5. What is the rate of change each time? How much does it change? To determine that, we'll have to use our formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we'll have 15 minus 10 over 10 minus 5. 15 minus 10 is 5, and 10 minus 5 is 5. 5 over 5 is 1. So then our equation is x plus 5. Remember that the 1 is in front of this x, but you don't have to write it there. What is the difference between an expression and an equation? The answers will vary on this question. So answers will vary. An equation is something you can solve, while an expression you simplify. An equation has two sides and is separated by an equal sign. Example, equation 2x plus 5 equals 10, expression 2x plus 5. Number 18. Use substitution to decide if the given number makes the equation or inequality true or false. So when I plug in 3 for x, does it equal 10? 21 does not equal 10. Therefore, it's false. Number 19. Same thing. 5 equals 25 over 5. 25 divided by 5 is 5. Therefore, this is true. Number 20. 16 plus 6 is greater than or equal to 22. 16 plus 6 is 22, and 22 is in fact greater than or equal to 22. True. X is 8. 33 minus 8 is less than 25. 33 minus 8 is 25, and 25 is not less than 25. Therefore, this is false. Anita and Ravi are selling popcorn for a fundraiser. Anita has P popcorn orders, and Ravi has 20 popcorn orders. They have a total of 55 orders altogether. What does the equation look like for this problem here? We know the total is 55, and we know that the amount as popcorn is P. Okay. So we know Ravi has 20. So to determine how many Aneta has, you have to do P plus 20 equals 55. Therefore, it's B. Carlos runs cross country for his school. To practice, he plans to run 155 miles total over the next 31 days. Which equation will determine the number of miles he needs to run per day? So we know again he has a total of 155 miles. That's what's given to us. And also 31 M. So our days, 31 days, and then the number of miles will go in here. So our answer is B. Tommy wants to celebrate his birthday at Jeju Shinhwa World with his friends. He has a total of 1,000,000 won, and each ticket costs 200,000 won. How many tickets T can he buy? So each ticket costs 200,000 won, so that means we have to set up a multiplication equation because we have to divide. So our correct answer then is G. x minus 4.6 equals 5. Since we're minusing 4.6 on the left side, we need to add 4.6. Whatever we do to one side, we do to the other side. The 4.6 cancel out. Now we get x equals 9 6/10. Number 26. Minus n over 6 equals 2. Since I have a division equation here, I need to multiply. So I'll multiply both sides by minus 6. The minus 6's cancel out. I'm left with n is equal to 2 minus 6. 2 times the minus 6 is equal to minus 12. Number 27. X plus 1 over 6 equals 2 over 3. I minus 6 from both sides since I'm adding. The 1 over 6 cancels out. So now we'll do 2/3 minus 1 over 6. In order for us to subtract, we have to find a common denominator. A common denominator for 3 and 6 is 6. Ask yourself, how did I go from 2 to 6? By multiplying by 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Since this is already 6, we can leave it. Since we're subtracting, we'll put a subtraction sign in the middle. 4 minus 1 is 3, and the denominators stay the same. So we have 3 over 6. 3 over 6 is equivalent to 1/2. So number 27 is the half. Number 28. So I'll begin by subtracting 2 from both sides. The 2's on the left side cancel out, and I'm left with 2 is equal to 2 over 9, W. Next, I'll multiply both sides by 9. And the 9's cancel out. On the right side, I'll get 18, and on the left side, I'll get 2W. Since I'm multiplying here, I have to divide. W is equal to 9. Number 29. Since I'm multiplying here, I have to divide. My 9's cancel out. Now I need to do long division here to figure out the remaining number. 10.89 divided by 9. 9 goes into 10 one time with one remainder. I bring down my 8. 9 times 2 is 18. 2 times 9 is 18. Bring down my 9. 9 times what equals 9? It's 1. So we get 1 and 21/100ths as our answer. Jacob won some lollipops playing the beanbag toss. After giving away 17 lollipops, he only has 28 remaining. How many lollipops did he win? So we know Jacob has 28 lollipops. And we know that he gave away 17. So it wants to know how many he has when he started. So we have x minus 17 equals 28. Now we'll add 17 to both sides to figure out what x is. 28 plus 17 is equal to 45. So how many lollipops did he win? 45. Friday, Adam had $22.50. Over the weekend, he received some money for cleaning the attic. He now has $32. How much money did he receive? We know our total is $32. And he had $22.50. So we're going to have to add x. Now that we have our equation set up, we can go ahead and get our x by itself. Since we're adding, we'll have to subtract 50 cents, 22.50 from both sides. Now we subtract, and we end up with 9.50. So x equals 9.50. So that's our study guide for today, and good luck studying.